Hello, welcome to class. I'm Temi. I'm your fashion tutor at TCG Fashions. So we'll be continuing from where we stopped. Today I'll be showing you how to construct your basic skirts, straight basic skirts with slanted CB. I've already explained the importance of slanted CB in our previous class. So you create your rectangular block this way. You create your rectangular block this way using your half hip plus 1 inch is the same thing I said earlier in previous class. Then the length of your box will be the length of your skirts. So we're going ahead to impute our vertical measurement. My waist to hip is 9 inches, so I'm marking waist to hip 9. Don't forget I'm using reduced scale, so you may be wondering what is she marking. Is it reduced? I'm using reduced scale, but I will still be mentioning the actual measurement. So my waist to knee is 26, but I'll be using waist to knee straight ahead. I've already explained to us how we will get waist to knee, or maybe let me see explain again. So waist to knee is 26, so I'm marking my 26. Waist to knee is 26. I'm marking my 26. Then waist to hem is 42. So waist to hem is 42. So this is this. So I'll just take my ruler and rule across. So I'll be ruling my hip line first. This is my hip line. I'll be rolling the hip line like so. Like so. Okay, but I won't roll my knee line with a thick line this time around. I will just make it dashed line, very faint dashed line, very faint. I hope you guys can see it though. I don't want it to be thick this time. In the previous class I made it thick and I cleaned, but I don't want it to be thick this time. So I will just label this my waist, and this is the hip, and this is the natural knee, my knee, and this is the length. But I explained to us that when it comes to designing and manipulating and contouring and doing all that, I'm introducing extra flare, extra fabrics around the knee. You don't work with your exact knee, you go up higher a little. Reason for that is for easy movement. If you do anything, you're tightening, you're contouring the bum, and you use your exact knee, you won't be able to walk. You should have seen people innovation, they make outfits, skirts that they use exact knee. The only thing you're able to do is to snap pictures. You won't be able to walk. Even just use above knee, except your design requires you use exact knee. So how do you know what to measure to go above? Between 2 and 4 inches is okay. If you're a short person, you can go up to like 4. That way it makes you appear longer if you want that. If you're a tall person like me, I'm already tall, I don't think I want to look taller than I am, please. So I normally use 2 inches above the knee, and like I said, I'm using a reduced scale, so I'll just mark 2 inches above the knee using my reduced scale. 2 inches above the knee. In your own case, please use your actual, don't reduce your scale, use your actual measurement. So 2 inches above the knee like so. Okay, so I will then be ruling a straight line. I'll be ruling a straight line. This time around I'll make it as bold as possible, and this above knee becomes my knee level for everything I'll be designing. Everything. I almost wanted to say for life. So this is my, some people call it raised knee, but I prefer to call it above knee. So this is this, then this is my hip, this is my waist, and this is the length of the skirt. So when you are working with okay, this is, I think I mentioned in the previous class on how to create margin. It's the same thing, please. I have 2 inches up, 2 inches down, 1 inch left, 1 inch right. So this part that is close to me is the center of my back, so I'll label it CB. This part that is away from me is the center of my front, I'll label it CF, and I'll be starting construction from the back. So this place where I'll be having my slanted CB, you will come to, let's label this A. Like I said, I love to work with alphabet, it makes explanation easier. So from point A here, measure ½ inch and mark like so. Are we together? So from this ½ inch that you measured, then you now measure your waist division. My waist is 27 divided by 4. We divide circumference by 4. 27 divided by 4 is 6.75. So I will mark this, making the second mark. This is the first mark, this is the second mark. I've explained the previous class on dart intake and dart replacement, so I will just go on here to replace my dart straight away. So my dart replacement is 1 inch. I will mark. Are we together? I forgot to mention in the previous class, if you want to attach this skirt to a bodice and the bodice has ease, the waist of the bodice has ease. If you have done our basic bodice class, you understand ease on waist. When you are doing your waist shaping, whatever ease you added to the bodice and the waist, you have to add that same ease to the skirt, so that you don't have to start trimming off and one does not match to the other. Whatever thing you do to bodies, if you're attaching this skirt to the bodies, it has to be the same thing you are doing to the skirt. But if you are making just skirts without any attachment to anything, I don't like my waist sagging. I like my waist very firm, so I don't add ease to the waist. For God's sake, skirt is meant to be firm. What's the point of wearing skirt and it's dragging up and down? Eventually you have to go and alter it, and we call it amendment in this part of the country. So what's not the point? So I don't add ease to my own waist, especially if I'm not adding it to the bodies. But if I'm attaching my skirt to the bodies, I do whatever thing I've done to the bodies to the skirt. So that being said, let's say for example this, you're attaching it to a bodice to make a dress. You can add like 1/4 inch ease, or whatever ease you added to the waist of the body. So that being said, so this is the end of my dart replacement. Then I will come to the hip. My hip is 35 divided by 4 is 8.75. So 8.75, this is 8.75. Then I will add 1/2 inch ease to the hip line. I mentioned in previous class that this ease is for when you are contouring, when you are manipulating, when you are designing. Your hip is usually, we don't really do so much with the waist. A lot of things happen on the hip to the knee to the hem. So if you add ease to your hip, it allows you to have room for manipulation. So, and if you don't want your skirt to be so clingy, you want to add lining, you want to make up your skirt, there are times I just need that little bit of space around your hip area. So this can serve the same purpose. But see, even if after everything you are done contouring, you are done manipulating, you are done doing everything, and you still have excess, it's simple. While sewing, you can just get rid of it as a seam allowance. So that way you are better, you are safe than being sorry. So if I add 1/2 inch, this one that you added is for both front and back. So we are dividing this 1 inch is into 2. Half will come for the back, the remaining half for the front. So if I add half, this is my hip divided by 4, 8.75. If I now add 1/2 inch to it, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that means I have 9.25 for my hip division plus ease. So I'll mark 9.25. Then I will mark. If you are making a straight skirt, don't forget these are straight basic skirt block. Whatever you have on your hip is what you have on the hem. That is why it is called straight. So 9.25, I will just bring it down to the hem, 9.25, like so. Then I will get my hip curve. I will connect my waist to the hip with my hip curve. While placing this curve, I mentioned in the previous class that you need to understand how to place it. So this is this. Then this part to the hem, I will just use my straight ruler, like so. You can see that I've made it simple. Just follow me, you will get it. So just rule like so. Okay, so I think I'm good with this. This part is well blended. Good. But in case your own looks disjointed, you have to blend it in. So now let's shaping the waist. So I mentioned in the previous class that what you have on the waist you divide by 2. But in this case, you have to be very careful. Don't forget that we've added 1/2 inch slanted CB. This 1/2 inch is going out. We are slanting it away, so to say. So don't let it confuse you. See, this one, you don't have anything to do with this. This one is going out. So the same principle follows what you did for the other one, the other skirt that we constructed earlier. Okay, I think I need to still make it clearer. You are working with the exact waist. This part to this part, let me label it A1, A2. This is your exact waist. Between A and A1 is the slanted CB. Between A2 and let's say A3 is your dart replacement. So you are not touching this, you are not touching this. When creating your dart, you are working with A1 and A2. This space alone, your exact waist. So you divide your exact waist by 2 again. Don't disturb yourself with all those decimal and points. Just fold your tape into two easily. So I will mark the center like so. So this is the center of my actual waist. Can you see? I folded the tape and I marked it a little. Then the same thing, you go towards the side by half. So this gives you your length, the middle of your dart. And like I told us that the length for the dart for the back is about I think 6.5 inches or so. So you would mark 6.5 inches. In my own case, this is what I'll be using. But take for example, you don't want to work with that. Just ensure that your dart does not get to your hip. Dart should not get to your hip. So at least leave like 1 inch or 2 inches before the hip. So once you've noted where the dart will stop, then you create a straight line. See the way I'm placing my ruler. I'm ensuring that this edge of ruler is on this line of the waist to give me that straight line. Is important. You don't want that will bend. That straight line. Then my dart intake is 1 inch. So that means to the right and to the left of this dart length, I'll be marking half inch towards the right, towards the left. So I will use my ruler to connect my legs, my dart legs to my dart apex. Okay, so this is this. Okay, then this is this. Okay, are we together? So that's that about the front. So this slanted CB, what will happen to it? You just connect it to your hip with a slanted line. That's all. It's going out. It's going out. It's going out of the construction. Somebody is wondering, how will zipper stay? You have to follow this shape to fix your zipper. Just try it. Do your practice and see. You will love the outcome. It will give you your exact shape. Don't you want to be making all those Instagram styles? So that's why you're in my class. Let me teach you how to do it. So that's that for the back. We'll go to the front. I label this B. From B towards the side, you will mark your waist division. That's waist divided by 4. In my own case is 6.75. Then I'm adding my dart replacement straight up, which is 1 inch. If you're attaching it to a bodice to make a dress, whatever is that you added to your bodies, you add it. But like I said, this one is ordinary skirt. I don't want any ease added to it, so I will just leave it as this alone. Then I will come to the hip divided by 4 plus 0.5 is, I have 9.25. I have my 9.25. So it has to touch because that was what I used in constructing my block. So this is where my 9.25 is. If you have done everything correctly, your own too has to touch. So this one is quite easy. I will just connect my hip. Can you see the way I place my ruler? I'll just connect my hip to my waist with a curved line, like so. Are we together? Then I will shape my waist by introducing my dart. It's the same way like what I explained earlier. Okay, let's use our alphabet again. So this becomes my B1 and this is B2. I don't have any business with my B1 and B2 for now. This is a replacement of a dart I'm about to take out. So my B to B1 is what I'm dividing into 2, which is my actual waist measurement. So we divide your actual waist measurement into 2 again. Mark the center this way. Then you go towards the side by 1 inch. Are we together? So this part becomes my length, the center of my dart. So at the center of my dart, then I will then take my dart intake, which is ½ inch on both sides. ½ inch to the right, ½ inch to the left. So the length of my darts for skirts, I think I mentioned earlier that is not as long as the back. So you can make it to be 5.5 inches thereabouts. But nevertheless, whatever you want to do, your dart should not get to your hip, like I mentioned for the back. So you can make it to be 1 inch or 2 inches before the hip. Okay, so this is this. Then after getting the length of the dart, after determining how long you want the dart to be, you then create a straight line like so. It's important this line is straight. Please create a straight line. So create your dart legs this way. I hope my head is not covering. I hope my head is not covering the construction, but I'm not seeing it clearly. Standing away. I think I don't like what I did here. The dart is meant to be straight, like so. Let me redo it. Okay, so this is this. Are we together? So this is what I have for my dart intake. So we are almost done. We are almost done. So it is important you raise your side seam. That way your skirt, it grips your body, you know, more firmly. So just raise this B2 with 1/2 inch. Take your tape and confirm. 1/2 inch. I'm not yet there. Okay. Then raise the side for the back also, the A3. Raise it by 1/2 inch also. Okay. Let's confirm. So this one is accurate. Then you connect this raised side seam to your A1. Don't forget that the actual A to A1 is going out for the slanted CV. So you connect these to this. But while connecting, you have to ensure that this place is smooth. If you connect straight up like so, say for example, I just do like this. By the time I open it, if this is not well blended, it will give you like W shape. But I don't want that, so I'll be moving away like 0.75. I'll be connecting the raised side seam to that. So something like this. Can you see? Then, like I mentioned in the previous class, it is okay you know remove some excesses from the center front towards your tummy area. You should have seen, maybe it has happened to you before, that you wear skirts and the front just folds, especially a short skirt or especially skirts that doesn't have band. Take for example, you know, the front just folds, up. So get rid of that excess. For medium figure, use 1/2 or 0.75. For big, use 1. For the person I'm saying for is small figure, so I'm using 1/2. So just come down 1/2 from B, then connect to the raised side seam. This one also, you have to ensure that the front is not pointed. So connect to your raised side seam like so. Okay. So then you shade this to tell you or your pattern cutter that this is going out. But I love to work with neat pattern, even if I will cut it away. I just want to do it hurriedly and make it ugly. Pattern is sweet to construct, and for me it's beautiful to behold. So this is this. The only thing left is to add our seam allowances. If you're adding band to this or you are turning with lining, 0.5 inch is okay. So 0.5 inch allowance to your waist. Side seam, just add 1 inch, is okay for now. Center front is going to be cut on fold. So put the symbol of cut on fold for your center front. It's going to be cut on fold. So this is the symbol for cut on fold. This is the symbol for cut on fold. Your hem, you can add between 1 and 2 inches depending on what you want. Between 1 and 2 inches. Then, except your design says otherwise, you should cut on a straight grain. So cut on a straight grain, create your grain line. This is a straight grain symbol. If you are cutting on a cross grain, it is the other way. So this is a straight grain symbol. So put it, and since this back has zipper, that means you'll be cutting 2. So just write cut 2, circle it. So what other thing do we need to add? I think that's that. For the zipper allowance, you can add. For the zipper allowance, you can add 1/2 or 1. You don't need plenty allowance for zipper. But then, if you are doing native that you will turn with lining before you fix the zipper, so you can add 1/2. But if you are sewing it straight with just weaving, without any, you don't need to join any lining or anything, you can just add your 0.5. But for this class, let's do 1. So add 1 inch. If you are making the skirt to have slits, if it's going to have slits, then you can determine where your slit to start from. Like I explained before, I like my slits starting from like 2 inches below my above knee. So just determine, then extend. It's the same way with what I explained in the previous class. I don't want to overwrite instruction on these. In fact, I think I've overwritten. because I wanted to use this to explain another thing, but it's okay. Let's draft another thing. So let's add allowance. Let's add 1 inch allowance. I want my slit to start from here. So on here I will rule a line, a vertical line, sorry, an horizontal line. This is horizontal, this is vertical. I will rule an horizontal line, and I will determine the length, how wide I want the overlap to be. The overlap, you know, some people like it big, some like it medium. So you can start from 2 to 4. In fact, you can do 5. It depends on the design, but please start with 2. It can look funny if you don't know how to sew it. So start with 2. So this is the overlap. So this is how I will connect. Don't forget, yes, thank God I remember. Don't forget that we are cutting away these. So when you're adding your allowance to this one that we have slanted CB, A1 line is a line. This line A is no longer your center back. Line A1 is now your center back. That means you are going to add seam allowance from line A1. Thank God I saw it. So you are going to add seam allowance from line A1. Are we together? So you just connect. So that means your line can't be straight. It can't be straight. The only part that will be straight are these parts. So from here, you need to use your curved ruler. Either use curved ruler or use your hand, whichever one. So you blend it, okay? Because if you're going to make mistake and you forget, that means you've not slanted any CB eventually. Do you understand? Okay, I know you do. Once you start practicing, you understand. So you blend here. Okay, so this gives us our skirt with slanted CB. So you blend here properly. Are we together? You blend here properly. Then you add your allowances and cuts. So please construct your own pattern with your full scale and show me pictures in class. Let me correct. Ensure you show pictures or before you cut as much as possible. The contact is displayed on the screen. Please show picture. You can only go ahead and cut if you've checked and you are sure that you have done it exactly the way I instructed you to do it, which I believe that should be the case. So thank you so much for choosing to learn from me. I remain your fashion tutor. My name is Temi. I will see you in the next class.